Hi, welcome back to the channel. Recently I shared a video on how to cut a vintage top or dress, and so I believe you've already watched it. That is why you clicked the sewing part, and if you haven't, I'll put the link in the description box below so you can understand the sewing part. So if you want to know how to sew the vintage shirt or dress, then please keep on watching. So I've gone ahead to search or knitting all the parts. So in the cutting process, we were supposed to cut facing for the back, which I forgot to mention. So let's do that. So you fold your facing or the fabric into two, and then you place your back piece right onto the facing, making sure that the center aligns with the center of the facing. The length of the facing definitely depends on you. I use 7 inches including the hemming allowance. I'll go ahead and fold in my hemming allowance. I'll do same to the sleeves. What I do is I put the right side of one of the sleeve onto the wrong side of the other, and then I just fold in the hemming allowance. This way I have killed two birds with one stone. So I'll go ahead and use hemming gum at the hem part. You can also stitch it as well. So I'll place the back of the shirt down. So this is the wrong side, and I'm going to place the front onto the back, making sure wrong sides are facing each other, just like the way you wear the dress. So wrong side of the back facing the wrong side of the front. Afterwards, I also place the facing onto the front, making sure the right side of the facing faces the right side of the front. Please guys, follow me. So the right side of the facing will face the right side of the front. So place it like that, and then you pin the shoulders together. So you are pinning 3 pieces together at once. So I'll go ahead and stitch them. So this is how it looks. This particular method is called sandwich. So now the rough side of the shoulders are now inside. So both the wrong side and the right sides are going to be knitting. Now I'll take it to my machine, and then I'll stitch the hem down onto the back. Yeah, so this is how it looks now. So now the wrong side is neat as well as the right side. So next I'm going to fold my armhole into 2 equal parts, and I'll notch the center part. Then I also notch the center part of the sleeve, and then I'll place them together and pin them down. So after stitching the sleeves, I'll join the sides with my 1.5 inch allowance. I'll do this on both sides of the shirt. So this is how it looks after stitching them together. So I'll measure the neckline of the shirt, and I'll start this measurement after the button overlap. That is after the 1 inch button overlap. So that's where I'm going to start the measurement from. So remember when we were cutting, we notched that point. So we will start measuring from that point to the other side of the front. And we will stop right after the 1 inch overlap notch point. So I got 17.5, and I'll measure again to confirm my measurement. Alright, so that is it. So let's cut. So I'll divide that 17.5 into 2, and I'll put that I've folded an interfacing into 2 equal parts. Alright, so after measuring half of the 17.5, I also went ahead to mark a width of 2.5 inches. So right on the folded part, I'll come down by 1 inch, and then I'll connect it to the side. Or you can use any other width measurement of your choice. Okay, this is what I want, or you can even curve it. So after cutting, I'll place it on a piece of fabric. So your piece of fabric should be at least 3 inches or 3.5 inches wider than your interfacing, which is serving as a pattern. So I'll put it on another fabric. At this point, I don't have enough fabric left, so I'm just managing the pieces I have. So I'll go ahead and cut the excess off, leaving half an inch at both sides, and then at the lower side also I'll leave half an inch. So this allowance will help you join the collar to the neckline of your shirt. So I'll fold in one side of the allowance, I'll press it down. So this is going to make my work easier. So when I get to my machine, I'll stitch it all around as shown. Yeah, so this is how it looks now. I'll notch the center part of the neckline. And I'll do same to the collar as well. So now center of the collar to the center of the neckline. So at this point, please, you need to pay attention. So I'm going to put the end of the collar after the 1 inch button overlap. Remember, that is how we measured it, so that is how you are going to put it, and I'll place the facing over it like that, and then I'll pin it down. And then right after the facing, where the facing ends, you know the one you folded, the part of the allowance you folded, you are going to notch that part. That's right after the facing ends. And then this will help you to just fold in the allowance easily. So I'll go ahead and pin the rest down. And right after you notch that part that we just did, you should leave that side of the color away. So that means you are going to work with only the other side of the color. So you do the same thing you did while starting on this side as well. So note that we have a center part where the facing starts, and then where the button starts, the button overlap starts as well. So you pin it down, and right after the facing, you notch that point. You realize that that notch part is where I ironed first, so you leave it away and you work with only the other side of the color. So I'll go ahead and stitch it down. And then after stitching, opposite side of where you've notched, you notch the other one as well. This is now the excess, so this will help the excess to enter into the color. And then you place the other part of the color that you didn't sew onto the excess. So after pinning, I'll stitch close to the edge. So this is the end result of joining the color to the neckline of the shirt. And I've also pinned down the button overlap of that 1 inch. So I've also marked the button holes. This will depend on the kind of button you are using. So I've also attached the buttons to the shirt, and I hemmed the lower part of my dress as well. So this is how the color looks like, as well as the back. So yeah, this is the result from the cutting and sewing process of this dress. Feel free to let me know your thoughts or ask any question about this tutorial in the comment section below. And if this video was helpful in any way, please like, subscribe if you haven't. You can also share pictures of how you recreated this dress with me on Instagram at Olives Creation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.